Hey guys, thanks for tuning back into Saturdays with Seren. So this Saturday I've got something a little bit different. I was thinking over everything, just everything, overthinking the entire world as I usually do. And I realized there are things that 2 or 3 years ago I would have just said, yeah, that exists, so what? Things I would have taken for granted. But I realize now that I'm so grateful for them. Little things. So I want you to take a moment, okay? I want you to pause this video in a second. I want you to find a book or a piece of paper or even just your phone or something that has notes on it, okay? Now I want you to write down the things that you're grateful for, and then I'll see you in a second. Alright, so you got everything? Good. Alright, so let's see if any of our things match up, yeah? Things that I'm grateful for, on my list of which there's a bit. The first thing I've got written is my eyes. I'm grateful for my eyes. And not because they look pretty or anything like that. I'm grateful that I can see. I'm grateful that I can sit here and I can make things for you. I can react to video games. I can just look straight at the camera knowing that I'm looking at the camera so that I know that I'm looking at you. And there are things, there have been days where what I can draw and what I can read and which YouTubers I can watch are the only reason that the day's been good. There is so much beauty in the world, it would just be tragic to miss it. There is so much that we could miss out on. Life's so short, blink and you'll miss it. And so I am grateful that my eyes work, that I can see. Having said that, do you want to add anything else to your list? Is there anything else that you're grateful for that you maybe hadn't thought of before? Because I know the first thing that I thought of when I thought of this is there are so many things that I didn't even realize I'm grateful for. So I'm going to get you to go ahead and pause here again if you've got anything else to add. And I want you to add it in a different color, or if you're on your phone, press return a couple of times or the enter key once or twice. Just put a break between it so that you know what was your original list and what's your list now. Okay? Just do that. See you in a second. Okay, so the second thing I've got on my list is my ears. For a similar such reason as my eyes. There are so many different things that you hear every day. Do you ever get uncomfortable when there's just silence? Like, okay, sitting next to someone and not talking, that's one thing, but just dead silence. There's no crickets, there's no cicadas, there's no talking in the background, you can't hear footsteps, there's nothing. The silence is deafening, and it's so unsettling. I would hate to have to deal with that constantly. Music is one of the biggest reasons that I'm alive. Playing, listening to, writing, though I'm not very good at that one. And hearing people talk, listening to the voices of the people I love. I am so grateful for my ears. There is so much I would miss without them. third on my list is my body. Now, I by no means have a great looking body. I have issues with my body. Like, I've got constant pain. But that aside, my body works. I can move my arms, I can move my legs, I can turn my head from side to side. There are people who don't have that. There are people who can't wave their arms about. There are people who can't hug themselves when it's cold. Some because they physically can't move, others because they have diseases that physically, if they do that, it would come up with something bad. Like they would bleed, or compressing like that could damage their heart. I don't have any of that. I am so grateful that my body works, that my skin doesn't fall apart, that I can move, that I have full motor control. I know people who don't have that, and I am so incredibly grateful that I do have that. I can't imagine my life without it. Another thing I'm grateful for is my family, because my family is always there to support me. Just like my friends. My friends are there to support me too. And I'm grateful for my family, I'm grateful for my friends. That said, I'm grateful for the internet and for my phone. Because I have friends that I have made on the internet that I would never have met, never in a million years. I have family that I wouldn't have met, but I know them because I've been able to connect to them on Facebook. There are times when I'm petrified when I'm out and social anxiety is just choking me. And all I need to do is pick up the phone and call mum and it's all okay. I am grateful for my friends and my family. I am grateful for the people who support me. I wouldn't have most of them if it weren't for the internet. And so there's something to look at. Yeah, you can be grateful for the internet. If that was something you had on your list originally and crossed it out, don't. Because it is something to be grateful for. It is something that we may have lived without. But living has been made easier with it. And there are people who make me happy. Just endlessly happy. Like, there are some people who all I need to do is see their face and I can't stop smiling. And there are other people that all I need to do is think of them. And then there's the people like you. You watch the video, and for every view that I get, that I see, I smile that much more because I've reached out to that many more people. My biggest goal with this is that eventually people will see me as someone to look up to, and then I'll be able to help people. I'll be able to look after them. I'll be able to hold them close to me and just tell them it's all alright. Because eventually it will be. Eventually it will be alright. It may not be ideal, but it will be alright. And you can always get through it. And I know this because of my past. Okay, and that's another thing I'm grateful for. I had a shitty, horrible past. I hated every part of it for a long time. But now I'm grateful for it. Because of all the shit that went down, everything that went wrong, I became who I am. And I like who I am. I like the fact that I can look at things and see the bright side in it. I never thought I'd be able to do that. But here I am, and I see the bright side in things. I see myself grateful for things that I didn't think I would be grateful for. And that's because of my past. And then the sadness. That's the last thing on my list. I wrote this down in like 3 minutes, so that's just the first things that came to my head. I am grateful for sadness. Because without sadness, we wouldn't know happiness. If there wasn't any sadness, we wouldn't understand why happiness is so important. You can imagine being happy all your life. You think you can. But then really, think about it. You may have been happy all your life, but you can't appreciate it because you've never been sad. Now, really, what's sadder? Sadness or not being able to appreciate happiness? Happiness sometimes only comes in the smallest segments, but sometimes it's all we need. I love each one of you, and I learned to love everything because I found happiness in the smallest of things, because I was always searching for it, because sadness just wasn't good enough for me. I wanted to be happy. I wanted to know what happiness was. And there was time, I think I went 6 or 8 weeks without feeling sad at all. And it just sort of became, yeah, I'm glad I'm happy. Then I had a big breakdown. And there was so much misery. It was tangible. My mood for weeks afterwards could only be described as melancholy. But then there was just this little touch. This one word from a friend. And I felt happiness. But it was so much more than the 2 or 3 months of happiness, of straight happiness that I'd had. Because it was following sadness, and it was bittersweet, and it was amazing. And I couldn't have asked for more than that. I really couldn't have. It's amazing when you think on it, how much you really are grateful for. How little the things may seem, and how big they can be. How big even the smallest of things can be. So I want you to look back at that list right now. How many of those things that I've mentioned did you have on there originally? How many of those things that I mentioned did you put on after I mentioned my eyes? And then I want you to think a little bit harder. What did you have that I didn't? And are you really grateful for it? Or is it just something that you think you should be grateful for? Because there's a thing. It's so easy to say what you should be grateful for. But are you? Are you grateful that you can see? Does it fill you with happiness that you can hear someone talking? That you can hear a whispered song? Does it make you happy to think of how everything could be wrong, but in that little way is right? And are you truly grateful for it? Because I am. I know today was a little bit weird and kind of somber, but I really hope you got something out of it. I know I got a fair bit out of making it. There were things that I didn't realize I was grateful for until I was writing it down. So, I hope you all have a good day. And I love each one of you that's watching this right now.